Good morning, everyone. I'm Amit Shrivastava, project lead of Custom Power Aware Simulation team. I have more than 10 years of experience in Mentor Graphics, and I also participate in IEEE 1801 UPF working group. I'll be presenting a paper on UPF 2.1 library commands. So these are new commands that are introduced in UPF 2.1. Essentially, they allow you to capture information present in the library. So as you know that today's low power designs and SOCs actually involve variety of IPs in them. And often along with the RTL, you have a lot of IPs which are either pre-implemented or like IPs which are gate level and capture power management architecture already in them. However, like the previous versions of UPF were not really basically capable to capture the library information, and hence relied on other formats like Liberty to provide such information. And this is where UPF 2.1 actually introduced a new set of commands which allow user to capture information present in the library related to power management, and so that it can be used, captured in the UPF, which is a common format, and leveraged by the tools to extract the information. So why do we need such commands? Why do we need library commands? Why isn't UPF 2.0 sufficient for that? Actually, as we know that IPs have basically power, there are certain IPs which are called as hard macros. They have power management already built into them. So because the power management is already present in the IP and pre-implemented, when that IP gets integrated in an SOC environment, it is necessary for the IP integrator to understand what is present in the IP in terms of power management architecture, so that they can do proper connections of supplies and use the information present there to do proper integration. And for that, like it is important for SOC designer or IP integrator to know what are the typical set of information includes, like what are the PG pins present on the IP which provide the supply for the IP, what are the related supplies for the pins at the interface level, whether there are any power management architecture already present inside it, or whether an isolation cell is present at the boundary or not. So that information is actually critical for the proper integration, and often there are issues, if such information is missing, there are issues related to integration of the IP, and IP may not function correctly. It could be due to some incorrect supply got connected to the PG pin of the IP, or there could be like an isolation cell was inserted at the boundary which was not really needed. So it is important to provide such information. Earlier, it used to be Liberty files which provided that information, but because it is a separate standard, Liberty is a separate standard, and it required tools to either understand the Liberty files along with the UPF, and also like there are, it doesn't really define proper semantics in the Liberty. So tools are like left on their own to interpret the low power attributes and understand the semantics and then use it in the design. So this is where UPF 2.1 came into picture. It introduced a new set of commands which basically allow you to capture power management information defined for the library cells. And this is what it shows. This figure shows that along with it, including all of 2.0 constructs, it also allowed you to capture power management information present in the library cells, where Liberty used to provide such information. And this can be used by the tools to understand the complete power management. So let's look at what exactly are those library commands. So here, these library commands are basically categorized into two categories. One is the power model commands, which capture the information about the hard IPs in the design, and another is the power management cell commands, which capture information related to the power management cells which are inserted to implement the power management architecture. So the power model commands, basically UPF provides three commands. Basically it allows you to create a wrapper which includes all the existing UPF commands to capture the information related to a hard IP or a power model. So UPF provides begin power model and end power model commands, which creates which encapsulate the power model, and within that you can include existing UPF commands to provide information. We'll see how it can be done later on. And then there is apply power model command, which actually instantiates that power model. So you can define a power model using begin power model and end power model, and then use apply power model to instantiate wherever it is required. Then looking at the power management cell commands, basically these are commands which identify what are the power management cell present in the design and specific attributes related to the power management on them, which includes, like, it defines the supply pins for the power management cells, whether it has dual rail or single rail supplies. It identifies what are the control pins related to, like if it is an isolation cell, what is an isolation control, if it is a switch cell, what is a switch control. And also it allows the user to specify certain expressions which are like control conditions which needs to be valid for a proper operation of that power management cells. So we refer to them as define _ star commands. So the UPF defines some tickle commands which start with define _. So these are the 6 commands, like define _ always on cell, define diode clamp, define isolation cell, level shifter cell, and power switch cell and retention cell. So these are each of those commands have like identify the power management cell and define the various attributes which I have just talked about earlier. The details about this is present in the LRM. What we will talk about here is that show how you can use these commands and migrate from a Liberty or from earlier versions of UPF or from another format to the UPF 2.1 commands. So to demonstrate, let's look at one example here. So this is, in this table we are showing how you can migrate from a Liberty, which is capturing information about a hard IP or and use UPF 2.1 power model commands to represent the same information which was present in the Liberty. Quickly, just this particular, on the left is a snippet of a Liberty, which defines various things like what are the operating voltages, what is the cell, what are the PG pins, the non-PG pins and the related supplies, whether it is internally switched or not. This is also captured. And if you see here, the UPF looks very much familiar as you would do for a RTL or a higher level. Except for the fact that you will see begin power model and end power model. So this is the 2 commands that that were introduced in UPF, which essentially encapsulate this and creates a power model out of it. And here, in this case, you would typically create a power domain which forms the basis of capturing all the information. On that, you will define supplies in terms of supply sets, which is like a more abstract representation, and you can club the a set of PG pins into and create a supply set out of it. And you can use the traditional like UPF based style and put all the commands that you require. Like here, corresponding to the PG pins, we have created 2 supply sets here. This was internally switched, so we created a power switch and connected it properly. And then there are attributes which define what are the related supplies for the non-PG pins. And then there is a power state description which defines like what are the operating voltages for the supplies. And then because this one, in this example, it had an internally isolation cell inside it. So there is an isolation strategy which basically tells that there is an isolation cell already present inside it. So looking at just at this example, it becomes much more easier for user to capture information related to power model using just the UPF commands. And moving on, this is another example like showing migrating from a Liberty to a UPF 2.1, and this shows like how a power management cell gets represented in a UPF. And in this example, it is a retention cell which has got like PG pins corresponding to the retention supply and the primary supply of the retention, and some control pins related to retention. And this gets represented in UPF 2.1 as a defined retention cell, which has various options. You can use those options to specify different attributes related to a retention cell. And as you can see, this is a very much more concise representation than a Liberty description. Then you can also use migrate from CPF to UPF 2.1 as well, because this CPF already had a set of library commands, and once you understand the mapping from CPF commands to the UPF commands, it becomes easier to migrate from there. And as you can, this table shows the mappings between the newly introduced your library commands in UPF and the commands which are already present in CPF. So because these commands basically allow you to capture power intent of a library cell or a hard IP, tools get much more capability to basically do more verification with respect to those cells. Like they can use the information present in these commands and do some semantic checking. They can ensure that the properties are not violated when these cells get inserted later on. So let's look at some of the verification impact of these commands. So for example, if you have a power model which captures the intent of a hard IP, tools can actually detect when that hard IP gets integrated in an SOC environment. They can detect and ensure that the supplies are connected properly or not, whether the supplies which are connected are operating in the same voltage ranges as per the requirements of a hard IP. And also, like it can also be extended, like if you have a simulation model which is non-power aware, you can use the information present in the power model and try to incorporate some sort of approximate simulation behavior automatically, so that this gets you can get some simulation behavior of a power aware simulation behavior in the. So similarly, like there is a verification impact of the power management cell commands. So basically capturing all this information in UPF gives you capability to do more semantic checks and ensure that the integration is proper in the whole design. So, so quickly look at some of the pros and cons here. Like because these commands are already native to UPF, like it has got better compatibility with the UPF commands. Like the semantics are much more clear, and some of the cons includes like these are relatively new, so the tools are still like understanding it and trying to implement it. And along with that, there is a lot of legacy libraries which are defined in Liberty. So to conclude, like these library commands are basically give you much more capability in UPF and make it a more comprehensive standard and allow you to migrate from existing designs to here. Thank you.